Angelo Brocato's fantastic desserts, hot coffee, and a lot of more fun. Welcome to NOLA Gent. Let the good times roll. Angelo Brocato's can trace its history in New Orleans back to the founder, Angelo Brocato, who was born in Orleans, Sicily, who at the age of 12 became an apprentice at an ice cream shop in Palermo, Sicily. Angelo emigrated to New Orleans, and in the summer of 1905, Angelo opened a small ice cream store on Decatur Street, in the area of the French Quarter that had become known as Little Palermo, as so many Sicilian immigrants were in the area. Later, Angelo moved his operations to a larger ice cream parlor in the 500 block of Orleans Street. And later in 1921, the establishment kept growing and moved to an even larger space at 617 Orleans. The Orleans store was open until it closed in 1981. The 617 Orleans Angelo Brocato's store is still there, and you can go see it today in the French Quarter. It now houses a coffee shop, and a homeless person typically camps out under one of the sides of it. And Brocato's maintained a presence in the French Quarter on Jackson Square for a few years after. The current location of Angelo Brocato's was opened in 1978. And after a little trouble with flooding that happened in that little event we call Hurricane Katrina, they finally reopened and have been up and going up and through the pandemic issues that we're having now. Angelo Brocato's is located at 214 North Carrollton Avenue. It's about 3 miles from the French Quarter and takes about a 10-minute car ride to get here. This is a really popular place, and very often there's a line going out the door. Fortunately, we've gotten here at a less than busy time, so let's go ahead and walk inside and check it out in here. So this is all before the pandemic when this footage here was taken, and everything was still operating as normal. So as we look around, there's lots of fantastic treats all over the place in here. So the ordering process is a little fun when there's lots of people, because you really can't see all the wonderful items available when you're standing in the line, because they have the things so spread out. And during Christmas time, they add even more stuff. So this footage here is during Carnival, or Mardi Gras time, and it was right after Christmas, so there was still a lot of Christmas stuff available. So right here in the first case, they have a lot of pastries, cheesecakes, cakes, and then we get into the Italian cookies. They have fruit turnovers and all sorts of delicious items here. And then we get into the gelato case. And then, oh, so many wonderful items. And throughout the year, all of these items will kind of rotate and change depending on the season. So some of the things stay the same, but a lot of the things change. And then the cannolis, you just have to order them as they make those fresh, and they have a few other items that are like that. So as you just look through here, there are all these wonderful items. It's just really hard to make a selection sometimes with all the delicious items they have. I tend to get the cheesecakes, which this is the cheesecake section there. And gelatos also rotate pretty frequently, but they have some consistent flavors. But then they have their seasonal flavors, so there's always something interesting. But then they have gelatos in this case too that you can't normally see. They baked Alaska. They also have their special original Torresino slices that are a vanilla, cinnamon, and almond blend. And they have the Cassini and Spumoni wedges. And then they have even more cookies over here. And then they have the Italian holiday cakes and the marzipan fruit decorations. And they'll frequently have a lot of these, especially around Christmas, a whole selection of these items on special all the time. But they'll have a few of them around. Back here we have a lot of the cookies that are ready to go, that are already bagged up. And then our seating area there. So these are all very antique old chairs and tables they brought over from their older location. I like to sit up on the upper level. That is actually closed right now on this visit. But hey, I've got my choice of seating in here right now anyway. And then they have an antique espresso machine, but they do send it off a couple of times a year to get service, so it may or may not be there when you visit. Here's the menu of the gelatos they have consistently. And then here's my order I'm getting right now. A cheesecake, some gelato, and a cookie. So this is a Black Forest cookie, just like the Black Forest cake. So this is a special cookie they'll have seasonally. So when you bite into it, you can see there's a little cherry in the middle there. So this is a delicious cookie I do like. They don't usually have these in the summer. This is more of a Christmas Mardi Gras Carnival type of cookie. And next I've got a little cafe au lait. Always good to get a little caffeine in your system to go with your dessert. So I do enjoy their cafe au lait and the espresso especially. Then I have actually 2 scoops of gelato in here. I've got a praline flavor and then another flavor underneath here you'll see in just a bit when we eat down enough of this delicious praline. This is a really good flavor, and during normal times they do give you free tastes, but unfortunately during the current COVID-19 situation there's no free samples until we get into a different level, unfortunately. So you might have noticed my lack of a beard here, indicating this is some of my older footage. So I was attempting to use my Sony RX107 camera back for this recording, and I have found since then that my cell phone camera actually does a much better job for these dynamic indoor shots, whereas the Sony camera is better for more outdoor stable shots. Comment below if you notice a difference and a change between which is better. Now here I am digging into the strawberry gelato that was hiding under my praline gelato. So I do like some good strawberry gelato because it's always a delicious thing to eat. And why get one flavor when you can get 2, right? So, ooh. Now the strawberry gelato here doesn't have the strongest strawberry flavor, and there's no chunks of strawberry in there. But it's a decent strawberry flavor. They also have the ices here. So all of the fruit ices, they're famous for their lemon ice. And that's where they kind of got their start. And then they've expanded to other ices, and we'll kind of seasonally rotate those. And now it's time to dig into my cheesecake. This is the amaretto cheesecake. They have lots of other kinds of cheesecakes that rotate seasonally. And then they always have their plain cheesecake, so you usually get at least 2 or 3 different cheesecake selections to choose from. Oh, the cheesecake's always good. And I do like the amaretto cheesecake. I think I probably have eaten more of the amaretto flavor than any of the others. They do have some others I like a lot, but they have them less commonly as they're very special limited edition holiday cheesecakes. And we'll take a look at some of those special cheesecake options later towards the end of this video. So I do love some cheesecake, and it's usually my constant order is cheesecake and a gelato and some caffeinated beverage in here. So that's my constant order that I get in here. And every now and then I throw in an extra cookie or another treat like a cannoli or some of the other good things they have in here. But this is quite a regular rotation of the places that I visit for dessert. In normal times, this would maybe be, say, twice a week at least. So this is quite a popular place and quite an old school New Orleans popular thing to do. So especially on Sundays, the lines can get quite long here, and in the summertime it's very popular and more tourists are learning about it. So do make sure to find a time where the line is not so long. Usually around midday. There's not much of a line here. The early afternoon, that's a pretty easy time to get in for the most part. I also really love Brocatos, as unlike other places, they serve their caffeinated beverages in a real china cup, and you get your dessert served on a real china plate. So that's just much more civilized, I would say. So the cost for my dessert deliciousness today was $11.69. And one of my favorite gelatos is available during Christmas and Mardi Gras time. This is the Regina with the cherries and chocolate goodness inside of it. But this year, they didn't have it during most of Christmas and not till the end of Carnival time. So that was worrisome. And then we got the COVID times. So for when they finally reopened, they were simply serving out of the front door to-go items from Brocato's. So they've opened up a little more so you can order inside, but still no seating inside currently. But this is how they initially opened, and you would then have to eat your ice cream outside and get your coffee in a paper cup. All the other to-go items were served like they always have been in a gift wrap box like this. Oh, Angelo Brocato's cheesecake. So Brocato's always makes a nice gift. And then they always have Italian candies available. And then they have the spumoni that's fantastic. That's multiple flavors of gelato in a wedge. The delicious Torrentino that's almond, vanilla, and cinnamon. And then a Bananas Foster's cheesecake. And then we have a pumpkin cheesecake that's around Thanksgiving and Halloween. And then the regular cheesecake that they constantly have available. And of course, a Mardi Gras cheesecake around Carnival time. And then of course, my amaretto cheesecake, which is also on the rotation. And then they'll do other ones that I don't have a picture of. And always a cannoli, gelato, the cafe au lait, and all the other specialty coffee drinks are fantastic. A regular coffee is great with your cheesecake and a gelato. Another regular coffee and a gelato. A Halloween cookie during Halloween time is always a good treat. And then you always need a gingerbread man and a fruit bar during Christmas time, just as a matter of course. And strawberry Mardi Gras floats during Carnival time. That's a mandatory item. And then just always a great selection of cookies. And they have both mini cannolis and regular sized cannolis. I like to leave the powdered sugar off mine, so you can request that. They also sell cheese raviolis in here. It's kind of a hidden menu item. And you can always grab one of the cookie bags to go if you're in a hurry, but then you don't get that beautiful box wrapping. So just always check out the ever-changing variety of things here. This is just a great spot to grab a little something for yourself and a gift for others. Other than the gelato and the Italian ices, it's those don't travel well, obviously. And if you get a chance to get an espresso out of this antique machine, do it. And we finished our treats and coffee for the moment, but hey, make sure you destroy that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed all of this delicious information.
Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you would just click on the little circle here with a picture of my head in there and subscribe to the NOLA Gent channel, it would really help me a lot. I really appreciate it. Thank you.